totally forgot this piece of wonderful, glorious item you need. It is a Velcro cuff. I don't even know what brand this is. Okay, I got this off Magnelix. Anyway, it's Velcro. You can put it on your hand, your wrist. It's got little magnets in it. Velcro to hold on. And it holds your pins. You can just take your pin, throw it on there. Ta-da! It stayed. It didn't go everywhere. The other good thing about this is you can wear it so like I can wear it on my left hand and be pinning on my right and not have to worry about reaching somewhere for pins. So get you one of these. Yay! Common problems. All right. One of the common problems, funny enough, I don't normally have this as much anymore, but one of the common problems you can have is you made your neck hole too big. No. So, how can I fix that? Well, if I made it too wide, then really my only answer is to either split the tunic and then make a seam to bring it back together like so, front or back or both. My other option is, if I had enough room, is to go down and redraw that. That's not going to happen. So if you do it too wide, that's really your only option, is to take up there. If you do it too long, in that case, if you do it too long, you can actually, what did I do? Oh, if you do it too long, you can actually cut, oh, is it Amelia? You can actually cut the sleeve right here and make a shoulder seam. If I make a shoulder seam, then I can pull it up. Also, I guess, as well, because this is how I fixed it the one time, a couple of times before, is if I have that same shoulder seam, I can actually pull that shoulder seam over. And so I can, with a shoulder seam, completely redo how that looks and make it tighter. If you do a shoulder seam, you're gonna have to sew it because it's gonna look like this, right? Well, you don't want to cut it all the way down your sleeve because that'll look messed up. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create a little shoulder seam like this. So kind of like you can go look at a t-shirt. It has this starting point because your shoulder's up here, and then it comes around to where your armpit, because if you just go straight down, it's going to have all this bulk in here and your armpit will not fit in it and will be very unhappy. If you go all the way down to like here, then it's not going to fit you in your chest down here. So that's a problem because most people are bigger in the chest than they are in the shoulder. Most, not all. So that's why you do this little curve. Now, after I do this curve, I have a problem. And my problem is that when I cut this, my sleeve, I have to sew it back on. In fact, when I have to sew it back on, my sleeve shape isn't going to look like this. And now my sleeve is too short. So if I do this, I will lose the length of this sleeve piece. Two options. I can either extend it by adding a colorful band of other fabric, like, what, did I have another can? I don't know. Here we go. Like, I could go and I could cut it and I could sew this in and piece it together and make it longer that way. I could recut this whole sleeve if I have enough fabric, or, you know, just add down here to have a better cuff if I needed to. This doesn't work, the cuff thing down here doesn't work typically because you've already cut this to their wrist. So you kind of have to expand it up here somewhere, in the armband, elbow band, forearm band, somewhere in here. Just adding down to here is gonna make this not fit their forearm correctly if it was tight. So I'm gonna cut this and then I'm gonna show you how that sleeve looks. Oh no, we lost an arm. Haha, just kidding. It's the sleeve. So now, some people may go in here and they may, depending upon how custom and how tight this is a fitted garment, you would go in here and kind of cut into here and then cut into up here for the back, you know, for the shoulder, so forth. Most tunics are pretty loose, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to come up with a general look. But here's my sleeve, my poor sleeve. I can't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna sew it back on there, because if I sew it back on there, it's gonna stick out like that and not look right. So now I've got to redraft my sleeve. Ugh. Okay, I put a couple points up here, one up here on the top and one down here at the bottom. I'm essentially going to gradually make this little S curve, kind of, from that point down to this point. This is the top of the shoulder. This is the armpit. Okay, now there are some sleeves where they turn them all wonky ways, and then this doesn't look exactly like that, and you have to draw it flat. But for our purposes, we will do like a little S, and it'll look like this. Now, because I did this, it's going to shorten the sleeve, right? So the next thing I'll do is figure out where I want to put my little gray area in. Let's put it here. Let's say, you know what, we're just gonna add a little bitty stripe, like so. That's how big of a stripe I want, so that I can measure what I get. Okay, hey, look, I got blue. Hey, we're blue tunic too. So I can measure this out. I'll cut it. Let's say I want to have it this big. Okay, now I'm not gonna just cut this section out. Instead, I'm gonna cut in the middle. Kind of. Oh gosh, hold on. Oh, now not only am I sleeveless, but my arm is in two pieces. Oh no. Just kidding. Okay, so here's our blue piece that's gonna fit in there. Fold it over. Da, da, da. Fold this over. Fold that over. And we're gonna insert the piece just like that. This works exactly how that first hem I was teaching you. You sew it together, flip it down, and then from here, sew it, flip it down, and then it'll end up looking like this, and you have fixed the length of your sleeve. Now, let's say, oops, I made the, oh, you know what, hold on, there's one section, I forgot to cut that out. Ha, now it's cut well, okay, that blue wasn't, but you know what, this is just a janky instructional anyway. It's gonna get you there, sort of, I hope. So let's say your sleeve is too long now. Problem. That's easy. You're just going to redraft this bottom and shorten it up and then cut off here. Or you can cut off a piece here. Or you can make this piece smaller or this piece smaller. If you really want to, you can make that piece smaller. I wouldn't, because you've decreased how wide this is, and that's going to make the sleeve tighter. You don't want that. So also, when you open this sleeve up, just so you know what it looks like this. Ooh, ah. And this is the top of the shoulder, armpit to armpit. Now, how do I put this sucker on my tunic, which is somewhere over here in this pile? All right, now I gotta figure out how does that go? I don't know. Okay. Oh. Wait. Oh no, it doesn't match perfectly. Whatever shall we do? So how you're gonna get this on here is, let's say this is the inside. We're gonna pin it. You're gonna start here at the shoulder, and you're just gonna pin all the way down, and you're gonna have to move the fabric a little bit to what matches up, and then it'll match up down here. Sew the sleeve in first. Once you have your sleeve in, yay sleeve! Oh, there goes my gecko's water. Yay sleeve. Once you have your sleeve done, then you sew this piece, this inseam. So if you sew the inseam before you sew the sleeve, then you're gonna have to sew the sleeve all together and then insert it in. And it is a pain in the butt. Don't recommend. Do it this way, much easier. That concludes the terrible tutorial on how to make a really bad miniature tunic. If you have any questions, just message me and I'll try to make some new videos that cover whatever it is. What other pieces did I have? Oh, look. Oh, here's our sleeve. Where did our other sleeve go? Oh no, I've lost our other sleeve. Well, looks like, oh, here it is. There's our other sleeve. Do-do-do. 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 Ta-da! Okay, until next time.